Good morning. Welcome to Keeping It Real Estate. I am your host, Laura Choueri. Our guest today is Mr. Khalifa Alsuwaidi, the CEO of Emirates Real Estate Solutions, the technology arm of Dubai Land Department, and the first real estate solution company registered in 17 countries worldwide. Mr. Khalifa played an instrumental role in creating ERES, which is supported again by the Dubai Land Department and the Real Estate Regulatory Agency, in its mission to provide state-of-the-art solutions in the local GCC international community real estate markets. He developed and still manages multiple solutions on behalf of the Dubai Land Department, including rental contract registration known as Ijari, off-plan registration, trustee and services, project development progress, Simsari eMart, and the investment map. Welcome, Mr. Alsuwaidi.
Thank you very much, Laura, for having me today. It is really great to aware people about real estate technology, especially that property is part of our life today, and investors, people living inside Dubai and also outside Dubai, would be interested to know our latest update in providing the right solution, the technology that can support them and can help them in investing inside Dubai.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mr. Khalifa. Let's talk about the buzz app of the day, which is the Dubai Rest app, which is the go-to app for everyone in real estate, and the app that everybody should know about. Whether you're an investor, whether you're a homeowner, you're a broker, or whether you want an update on the real estate laws. Tell us about the Dubai Rest app, and why is this the most important app for everybody to download?
Well, Dubai Rest, which we call Dubai Real Estate Self-Transaction, was an initiative by the government of Dubai, the 10X initiative. The government of Dubai wanted to create initiatives that are ahead of time by 10 years, and each government department wanted to provide something that is unique to the users and to the investors inside every sector inside Dubai. And Land Department, along with Emirates Real Estate Solution, came with the idea of providing a tool that would help any investor and a property owner inside Dubai to access and transact on properties inside Dubai in a very smooth, secure way. And that's why we came with Dubai Rest, the mobile application. As you can see, the application has lots of features related to real estate. And when we talk about Dubai Land Department as a government department, Dubai Land Department deals with multiple type of clients, let's say. So we've got people investing inside Dubai, we've got tenants, we've got businesses such as brokers, developers, property valuators, as well as auditors. All of them, they transact and evolve around real estate inside Dubai. And that's why the idea was to provide a tool that can support them all. If you see anybody want to buy a property, not in Dubai only, but anywhere in the world, they would buy a property for a reason. So people buy a property to live in it, or people buy a property to invest by leasing it, or maybe somebody else want to get, for example, a commercial property where they can, for example, open a business. So that's why we try to tailor the application to help all those individuals, not only the people who are investing, but the people inside that journey of getting the property. Land Department used to just register the sales contract and mortgage contract before, but now we look at buying a property as a complete journey. An investor would like to first get a glimpse of the market inside a city that they want to invest in, such as Dubai, get to know the prices, get to know the locations and the importance of, getting the right property inside that specific community. And then once I get those necessary information, I'll move to the step of finding listings for sale, listing for rent. And once I put my eye on that specific property, then I want to get in touch with that broker to give me more details about that property. I also would like to know if there is certain service charge. What is the service charge of owning that property?
So you're saying that if I'm an investor, no matter where I am in the world, I can go onto the home screen of the app, I can find a property through the investor, through the investment app. So I'm actually sitting here and I'm going to open my app, and I'm going to, for those that don't know Dubai Rest, if I go into the app and I go into the homepage of the app, I have this screen that has multiple services. So I go into the homepage of the app and I have all of the transactions today, total sales, total mortgages, etc. So I have real estate transactions, I have my favorites, project statuses, mashru'i, and the map, etc. I'm an investor and I want to now buy a property. I can actually click on the services. I can go to buy a property, and then I just go into the different features and I can then look at the property, which is then advertised through the Dubai Land Department system. It means it's a verified listing through the Dubai Land Department with a marketing number, and I can actually buy that property.
That's correct. Okay. So what we're doing, not all of the services are fully integrated with each other for the time being, but this is the roadmap of the mobile application. So if you go to services, you will find one of the services called property listings. Once you enter to a property listings, it will pop up listings that are for rent and listings that are for sale through the tab on the top.
And does everything have the service charges of that property and anything that's affiliated, or is that something that I would have to check through that particular agent that's advertising the property?
Well, every listing should have all necessary details when it is being listed inside our portal. The idea is to try to make it as transparent as possible for the investors. For example, if you go inside a rent listing, you would notice that by the end of the page you will find a rental index for that specific property, the index that has been approved by the Dubai Land Department. So you can understand, I know that there are some property that are listed above the price of the index because it's a supply and demand environment, but at least you can have the idea of what's the index in that community or what the index of that type of property. Again, if you change to the tab of sales, you will see the verified sales listing inside Dubai as well, and you can also get the information. The most important thing is those details are populated from the registry of land department. The broker does not type in the necessary field information because it should be populated.
Right.
The number of rooms, the total area, the common area. And you can, of course, once you get the details, go back to services and you will find another service inside those services, which is called the service charge index. The service charge index is where you can pen manually on a map or enter the details directly of a property, and that will give you the service charge of that specific community according to the type of property that you're trying to get.
Is that also applicable to, so there's another service called mashru'i, which is the developers project.
Exactly.
And would in this app of the developers project, so if I find a developer here, that means that this developer has been approved by the Dubai Land Department. That means that they are an authentic developer. They've set up their escrows, they've done everything according to the law, and everything that is relevant, including service charges, will be found in under this development as well, correct?
Well, through Mashru'i, the idea of Mashru'i is to provide a glimpse and detail about that project being developed. And the idea is to provide information for those investors to know the progress of that project being built. Some of the projects are completed, and still the information of that project will be linked to the service charge as well, and to get the information that you require to know in order to complete the transaction inside.
But the development is not uploading their property. An investor, in other words, cannot buy a property of a developer. So if Ahmad has a property called X, let's say Emaar Waterfront, and somebody wants to buy through the land department, they cannot do that.
No, they cannot do that for the time being, because it is not listed by broker.
So it has to be listed by the broker. Okay.
The idea, as of Emirates Real Estate Solution, we try to be as flexible as possible with partners. We deal with the brokers, we deal with developers inside Dubai, we deal with multiple agencies, and many developers have developed tools to sell online, to have their listings, and to have different kind of journey for investor to acquire property inside Dubai.
So you're here to back them up, you're not here to compete with them.
Yes, I don't want to compete with the private sector. I would like to be as flexible as possible with them. Actually, Emaar is one of the developers who have implemented blockchain technology on off-plan transactions by having a node with the special permission that is integrated with the blockchain that has been developed inside Dubai. So whenever they do an off-plan sales transaction, it is completely integrated with what we have right now inside the land department. So once they sell off-plan, it is automatically registered with us.
So do you provide as ERES the blockchain technology
for whatever partner?
For the partners
that are working with us inside Dubai. If a developer want to sell off plan, we can enable them provide necessary documentation and API if necessary to get the information. Even other partners who does not use block technology yet, investing in a new technology can be a bit expensive, especially if you are focused in doing so many things inside your world. A property developer is developing, let's say a property manager is managing property. Sometimes they don't have the time to enhance and provide latest technology. We still provide API and legacy way to access to our system. There are developers that are integrated. Their sales source is integrated with our registration system. So once they do the off-plan transaction, it can be conducted into our system as well.
Well, that's excellent. So we spoke a little bit about the different components of the app, and we spoke about the investor if they want to buy a property and buy a property. Let's talk about the homeowner that owns a property. What are the benefits of the app for a homeowner, especially somebody that's living abroad that cannot, basically come down and check or go to the trustee office? How does that work for them?
Well, Dubai ERES, once you signed in and get verified inside, you will be able to view your own property inside Dubai ERES.
Can you be verified without having an Emirates ID?
That's another release that is supposed to be released in a couple of months. The idea of having UAE Pass as a KYC and as an integrator between the client and the tool have been helping us a lot in verifying users. We do verify users through OTP and through a normal access, but with the UAE Pass, we'll be able to provide extended services such as selling remotely, such as getting further service without needing to come to Dubai. Today, for example, we have released a new patch that will be online tomorrow, allowing people to digitally sign on contract.
You announced that last month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it has been under development. It is being audited today, and tomorrow it will be live on the mobile application.
But let's go back one step, please. The UAE pass is already in place.
Exactly.
If I am not a resident of Dubai and I do not have an Emirates ID, I can still get verified through UAE pass.
That's a new version that's supposed to be released very soon.
Okay.
Where people can get a UAE pass access without needing to have Emirates ID, without having to stay inside Dubai. That's a new version that will verify user using their passports and getting, I think, biometric. I'm not sure how the process is going to be done, because we don't own UAE Pass. UAE Pass is an initiative by TDRA and Smart Dubai. And this initiative, especially Smart Dubai, have been listening to us, that there are investors inside the real estate community inside Dubai who don't have an Emirates ID and want to access many services inside Dubai, not only real estate but other services. So the rollout of a new version that will allow them to get access to UAE Pass without having an Emirates ID.
So we have to be sure that the passport and phone number and email that they buy a property with are going to be the same that they're going to use when they're abroad. But then you're going to have to be integrated with the passport offices, because if a passport expires and then you have a new passport, you don't have that new passport number. That means the citizenship bodies have to be linked as well into the UAE Pass. Correct?
Well, UAE Pass is already integrated to immigration services and other services. The idea is, I don't know exactly the process of updating your profile in UAE Pass, but a new version will solve these issues.
Fantastic.
Very, very soon.
That's an excellent. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Because clients that are international that want to buy property want to make sure that they have access to their property, and they only have access if they can. If they feel that they have access, not that they, it's difficult to access the information that they need, and so on and so forth. So a homeowner, we've answered your question. I hope that you're comfortable now to buy more property in Dubai. Let's now move to the brokers, the real estate brokers. You now have, you've had for a while, the broker section, which is the Form A, the Form B, and the Form F. Now, when you're buying a property as a homeowner, as an investor, and you're working with a real estate broker, being that you can choose the property online and then you choose the agent, of course, it's advertised that property, and now you want the form. You can initiate the form, the listing. Well, if you're selling, the listing Form A, but let's say you're buying now. If you're buying and you're using the Form F, by default, the Form A should have been generated online, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So the Form A, does that need to be generated on the app, or could that have been generated
using the broker tool?
Using the broker tool online,
yes,
which is fine.
Yes. The broker have an access to an application called Tarakhisi.
Yeah.
Brokers have a business interface. As you can see, Dubai REST is tailored for end users more than business users. Still, business user can access to it, but the idea is we cannot put so many services inside a mobile app that meant to be used by individual. For example, a property developer does not use Dubai REST to list their property, because they are a force people, multiple users, different kind of authentications to access to certain information. But the idea is all those applications that has been developed by us are integrated with each other. So when a platform, for example, such as registration trustees, initiate a sale contract, you can sign it digitally using Dubai REST. That's the idea. When it comes to the end user, they can interact with the mobile application. And that's what happens with the Form A and Form F. It will pop up, or you will receive an email or receive a link where you can authorize yourself inside, use your UAE Pass, and sign digitally and get it approved.
Sign in a few months digitally. Not yet.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Okay. So all of the processes on the app are exactly the same as online. If you're going to generate a Form F, you should have generated the Form A online. Although it's done manually, in this particular case, it should be generated through the online system in order for you to be able to. So it actually gives more of a protection to the buyer.
Exactly.
Really.
Exactly.
If the Form A is generated online, and not manually, the buyer is protected under the legal system if, God forbid, something goes wrong.
You know, many sellers and buyer, try to avoid signing a contract with the broker at the beginning, and that's one of the issue because of transparency and lack of information. The idea of Form A, B, and F is to protect the right of the people, not only the broker but the individuals, the sellers and buyers. Sometimes you can, get the word of mouth between, two parties, and suddenly a small problem could happen, a delay in transaction. There are legal issues that can arise from such behavior. And, while you're having a contract that has been, a template has been generated from a government system, have the details that you as a seller or buyer or a broker get the right information and understand what kind of liability are you going into and what kind of deal are you getting into, and then get the right information before even signing. That's the way to protect the right of the people. Not only broker, but also you can know that this broker is really authorized to do that form for you, because a broker who are not licensed by RERA on land department won't be able to get you an online form, but maybe get you a manual form, and that could be an issue. That's why we try to aware people of getting into those tools that has been developed for the benefit of them, for allowing them to be secure and be authentic between all parties, and get the transaction done safely.
I think that Mr. Khalifa, one of the issues is that people don't understand they really don't understand the importance of Form A. And under a real estate body of our company, I cannot stress this enough as well. And I think it's one of the best things that you've created here, because Form A lets agents know that this property can be sold. It lets investors that are buying the property know that if there's an issue or a lien on the property or a problem, it can only be detected through that Form A. And without that Form A, you're wasting a lot of time. I know that a lot of people say, well, we can do, there's many circumstances you can do the Form A, but how do you really guarantee to the investor that this is free and clear of any encumbrances if you don't do it through the Dubai Land Department? And my understanding is that any issue at all that's on that property would not let that document be completed. Am I right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. We used to have a service where you query about the property before conducting a transaction to know if it has any liens or any problem. And now with the forms that are available, we're trying to migrate people to use those forms rather than querying about the property itself.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic tool, and very much so. So let's talk about, when you talk about the information to the audience, to the investors, to brokers, to everyone, how is there a service on the app whereby one can log in and be updated on the new? It's very difficult to let everybody know what the new rules are. I mean, you'd have to have a massive marketing budget to do that. So is there a tool where I can look and say, this is the new law for brokers, this is the new law for investors, this is the updated law, etc. Where would I find that on the app?
Before I go to the section that has the information, of course you noticed when you launched the application there was a message has been popped up in your screen today for a new law that has been issued inside Dubai. Did you notice that?
I opened it without looking.
Okay.
I opened it without looking because I look at the app every day.
When we want to force some information on people,
yeah,
you would be able directly to access those information even through.
Oh, I saw that and I turned it off.
Exactly,
I closed it.
So
I actually closed it without realizing.
So I opened it for you again.
Where is it?
Okay.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Announcement to owners of expropriated properties for public use in Dubai. So this is how you're.
This is a way, of course.
Fantastic.
But we have a section for all laws and regulation inside the list of services, which is called.
Okay.
Yes, Dubai real estate legislation.
Okay, so this new service procedure, service form required. So where would that be? Proceed to service.
You have to proceed. The information that you just saw was only, okay. So
the information I just saw would be on this page.
Before accessing any service, we try to provide basic information of the service that you're trying to access. That's why you see it in every service when you're clicking. It's one of the required, quality assurance information related to any service we're providing. So the idea of having this section is to view all laws and regulation related to real estate inside Dubai, and we update them regularly according to whatever being released by the government of Dubai.
So any whether you're an investor, a homeowner, you're a broker, everything would be. So this is like Marwan bin Ghalita said, this is the go-to app. Really, you have everything here.
Exactly. We try to group the information as much as possible inside the mobile application. Yeah. And for your information, we have a new mechanism of enhancing and updating the application. If you see the application is not being updated by a normal App Store application. Once you start the application, it will force an update. So we try to release a patch every week or couple of weeks without needing to go and check if there is an update or not. By doing that, we try to make sure that the application is updated to many people as much as possible without needing to verify whether there is a new update for the application or not. Okay. The update is forced in every mobile application, and in that way we can release very quick increment that are necessary inside the market.
Interesting. I'm looking through all. Tell us about the Dubai investment map.
Dubai investment map is another view of the transaction that are being conducted inside Dubai. The idea is when you query inside the transaction information in the opening page or the landing page, you will see numbers and you will see communities, prices, many information. But when you go inside the investment map, we try to take you to view the property from another dimension. You see the map and you see the number of transactions per community, and once you zoom in, you get the details that you need
so
to
these
know.
Numbers that are in circles are the numbers of transactions in that particular community.
Exactly. If you zoom in inside the community, you'll get more detail. It's about transaction in that community. We try to enhance the map with more information. Sometimes, an investor or a visitor does not know the exact name of the community, but when they see the map, they can zoom in and have a view. I am that far from the beach, I am that far from Mall of the Emirates or Dubai Mall. I want to, get something around this area. I see the traffic would be much better in this area. It's another type of view that can make investment decision easier.
Okay. Let's go back to the homepage of the app. This is something that I would like to know. I would like to learn. So on the homepage, you have total transactions today, 837.40 million, total sales in AED, 715.22, total mortgaged, and gifts in gifts. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us, when you say total transactions, what is the date of that? I mean, obviously it's not from today. What are the dates?
It is from
today.
Is
it from today?
Yep.
I mean, from this morning, as I'm sitting here, there are
Exactly.
sales outside of 800, and I'm sitting here doing a podcast.
It is not even 10 a.m.
837, and it's not even 10 o'clock. And are you serious?
That's Dubai.
I know it's Dubai.
This is how it is happening.
So this is today's so these are daily transactions.
Yes. So you see all registration offices inside Dubai are integrated with the central database of Dubai Land Department. Any transaction that happen either offline,
is automatically
off plan, or existing property, or even rental contract, are integrated with one platform. So what happens? Any transaction that happen, it will record immediately inside the system.
Including leasing. So it's sales and leasing. It's total transactions.
Dubai REST will not show you leasing here, but it is, yes, available, everything.
So total transactions are 837.4. Then what's total sales then?
The total, the type, when we say transaction, there are different type of transaction procedures being conducted by Dubai. We try to categorize them according to the type of transaction. When we say transactions, you've got, for example, sale, that includes partial sales, off-plan sales, and delayed sales, any type of sales that will convert the ownership from someone to another.
So even the transaction sales in a developer's office will be transacted here?
It will be transacted inside the platform. Yes, it is a central database. How come the developer sells a property without land department knowing about it?
Unless it's
even off plan.
Even if it's off plan.
Off plan, because you know what happens.
So pre-Okud.
Okud actually is a platform that has been developed by us, and this platform allow the developer to sell off plan. Mm-hmm. So the idea is the developer cannot sell off plan without having a project registered with us, without identifying how many properties inside, what is the area that they're selling. Otherwise, if the transaction is not being registered inside Dubai Land Department, then it is not an official sales. And then we cannot support the owners inside Dubai or inside the court.
Interesting.
That's the law. So this is when we say sales. But when we say mortgage is whatever being mortgaged from the bank. And giftings are where you gift your property to someone relative to you, such as your parents or your children, because the kind of fees that are calculated to conduct such a procedure is different. That's why it's not sale. So gifting, people are not paying for transfer. It is another kind of fee that has been designed to allow family to give property to each other.
Because that's strictly the local community.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Mr. Khalifa, let's say that you want to buy a property and you want a market comparable analysis. So if I want to do a market comparable analysis of actual sales, I don't want to go to one of the online portals and just find the different properties that are there. So this one is asking for $1 million, he's asking 3.2, this is asking 2. I want an actual market comparable, and I want to go into the project. So what I did is I was looking at the example Barari the other day. Mm-hmm. And in Barari, I went to, I was looking at Seventh Heaven, one of their projects. And it gave me a global number. I don't want the global number. I want the units. I want to know the 1 bedroom sold for how much, 2 bedrooms sold for how much. I don't want the global value of what's been sold, a total transaction. I want that building. I want to know 1 bedroom and what they've sold for. How do I access? I wasn't able to access that. Is there something wrong with maybe I don't know how to do it?
Well, usually there are detailed information that you cannot reach inside the mobile application. The journey of developing mobile application and enhancing the service are still at the beginning. Dubai REST as a mobile application may not have all the features that investor would require for the time being. So that's why some private sector try to provide tailored type of reporting that illustrate how the transaction are going inside.
But you have that data here anyway.
We do have the data not only here, but even in open data platform, where even individual and private access can get them from, for example, Open Data Initiative. The idea...
if I go to Property Monitor, mm-hmm. I can find that, but why would I go to Property Monitor? It's a great app. I'm just saying that I do go to Property Monitor, but is there a way to find it in Dubai REST app?
What you can do inside Dubai REST app is to get the record of, for example, certain community and to know the details of that community. But it will not show you that this is
the individual.
like this is 1 bedroom apartment or a studio or other kind of property in details.
May I
Like, for
suggest?
example, if I go to such community called Akoya Oxygen, I
Yes.
know that it has 79 transactions since the beginning of March.
Yes.
I can know that the type of property by the name of the, what developer have, called, but it will not give you the description of that property.
Mm-hmm.
We're still at the beginning of the journey.
Are you going to provide that one day? Or?
I don't think it will be an issue. Once, sometime, gathering, requirement from users and feedback from the users, sometimes it takes time. It depends of the urgency of enhancing and updating the application.
Okay.
But definitely, that's an information that we can display. We have no issue in displaying those information. It's about the capacity of my team developing inside the ERES. It is, this mobile application is connecting so many different users, banks, individuals, developer, brokers, evaluators, auditors, and so many people inside the platform. This platform is also integrated with other government departments such as utility departments, DIWA, telecommunication, and other agencies inside Dubai. Such huge development are being done in back offices, and sometimes small enhancement and application are important, but we try to schedule them according to the need and according to the requirement that we receive from Dubai Land Department.
Yeah. I saw this. The app, the projects. Yes, I did have that. I did receive that information. Okay, I just thought that there was a way to get that information on the app. Well, I have to say you have a lot of services here. It must have taken an incredible amount of time to develop all of these. I mean, there's so many services. I have 9 favorites of my own that I keep track of, 9, and you have so many. So I think it's fantastic.
If you see, for example, when you go inside the brokers, you can see the kind of deals that the broker did in certain community, and that has been very helpful for so many investors. We've been receiving compliment call that now they know that this broker are experiencing that certain project or certain community by knowing the number of transactions being conducted by them in that certain project. And it has been something important to so many people. Sometimes we meet brokers who does not have that tremendous record inside the system, and you hear from them comments and information that will let investor know, for example, whether this broker knows the right information or not, and that has been very helpful. We try to enhance the tool as much as possible. I'm really proud of my team. My team has been working very hard and trying to get lots of point developing inside certain verticals such as real estate is not an easy thing. Dealing with square meter, square feet, and dealing with service charge, common area, net area, and trying to provide those real estate information inside a tool is some kind of tricky, and we try to make sure that all those systems are reading and writing from each other, especially that now we have for example the rental dispute center inside the land department, where they look at the rental legal cases with whatever is happening. It is integrated inside the ERES as well, where people can apply for a case or get the kind of advice whether a landlord can increase a rent or an individual, a tenant, can refuse such an increase. It can give you the advice whether it is that unit eligible for increase or not.
Who gives the advice? Is that legal advice?
It's called a smart judge. So
yes,
when you go inside a
that,
smart judge,
it is actually the legal system that's answering the questions.
It's an automated system where you provide necessary details, like you say, for example, I'm paying rent 50,000. The rental index I'm having, for example, 1 bedroom inside that certain community. It will tell you, if you open a case, you will win. It will tell you with the details that you have been provided, there is a chance to stop an increase, or there is no chance to stop the increase. It will give you those kind of details. They are not 100% accurate, but it will give you a glimpse of what you should do.
But you can take that information and use it as solid information to make an informative decision.
Exactly.
Okay.
And sometimes, when a tenant get this information from the system, they go to the landlord, say, I went to Dubai ERES, I did that with the rental dispute community, and they told me that there is no increase. I can stop you from the increase. And they come into an agreement of not increasing without needing to pay any fees and opening a case or disputing.
So landlords will respect that?
Yes. Okay. The landlord would respect that, of course.
Fantastic.
The landlord can verify himself inside the tool
Yeah.
to make sure that these information are correct.
It's a lot of information on Dubai Rest app. It is really the go-to app. So before we end, is there anything else that's other than the two exciting upcoming features is the UAE Pass and the e-signature. And the e-signature will be launched very soon. It was announced last month. And then we have the UAE Pass that will be a huge help for those that are local and international that don't have an Emirates ID, and a very good way of verifying the legitimacy and ownership of that property. So that's fantastic. Is there anything else you want to add, Mr. Khalifa?
Yes, Laura, this is the beginning of the journey. Enhancing and updating Dubai Rest has been one of the core things that we do inside Emirates Real Estate Solution. Real estate sector is a very important sector to the community. And, after visiting Dubai as a foreigner, especially with Expo, they have tasted what Dubai is about. And, once you come to Dubai, your heart, fell into it, and suddenly you'd like to be part of that community. And in order to do that, we try to make sure that any tool can be available for those people who want to decide into moving inside Dubai. Again, it is the beginning of the journey. We still have lots of idea, lots of enhancement that we want to implement inside Dubai Rest. And I would really encourage people who uses Dubai Rest to visit the application frequently to see the differences that has been happening inside the mobile application.
For somebody that came for a visit 28 years ago and saw the change in real estate from then to now, when there was no technology and there was no RERA and there was no Dubai Land Department, I can actually say I've experienced this journey. So yes, I'm somebody that came to visit and stayed. And this Dubai Rest is actually something that is a long time coming, and I know how much technology and time and teams go into building this. So actually, congratulations. It actually is the most amazing tool I think that brokers, investors, and homeowners should definitely use. So we're looking forward to many more exciting things, Mr. Khalifa.
Thank you very much for making this podcast, and I'm happy to provide whatever information about the mobile application, and I'm also happy to open a feedback channel through you for any comments and enhancement that would come from the community that can help users and investors to have a better experience at the mobile application.
Fantastic. We'll do that, and we'll keep you posted. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.